KCP is a group of devoted seniors and faculty members who strive to not only be leaders on campus, but friends to everyone and a guide to new students. Our intention is to link students with the school and provide them with an opportunity to connect with people of all levels of experience, from freshmen to faculty. The entire program is in collaboration between seniors and new students, especially freshmen, to provide all with a welcoming, fun community of ACP nights. Our goal is to help you, new students, have a great experience at ACP and to guide you through all that ACP has to offer. We are here to help you with anything we can, but most importantly, to help you feel like you truly belong among the Knights and build a great night community, because we are, in fact, united. Today, we have a presentation by some of the leaders of KCP that we are calling ACP 101. This is to introduce you to some of the tactics for learning through the ACP virtual school. When we are able to return to in-person learning, we will have another orientation to familiarize you with the ACP campus and in-person activities. Before we begin the ACP 101 coursework, you need to meet the leaders of KCP. Of course, Mr. Bickus leads all of the nights, but Dean of Students Miss McClure is the lead administrator for this program. And the teacher who leads us all, whose name you've probably seen in connection with this program, is here to say hello. Ms. Lindstrom?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to ACP, even virtually. As David said, I'm Ms. Lindstrom, and I supervise the senior mentors for this program, and I help organize the Knights Connection program. When we're on campus, you can find me in room C101, or you can connect with me through the CUSD email. Or you can find my webpage that has links to the Knights Connection page too. I'm not the only important adult. As David already said, you have Mr. Bickus and Ms. McClure, but you also have someone else really special on campus that the students really turn to help them be a success in the future, and that's the College and Career Counselor, Mrs. Dalton. Mrs. Dalton, introduce yourself.
Hi, Knight. I'm so excited to be here. I know that right now we're virtual, but that doesn't mean I'm not here for you. Please know that I'm just a phone call or an email away. But when we're on campus, my office is actually located in the same building as the cafeteria. I'm right across from the front office. You can go through that door or through the cafeteria. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me either on the phone or through email or in person when we get here. I can't wait to see all of you and talk to you. It's going to be a great year. I'm super excited that you're going to be part of our family because we are truly a family.
Thanks, Miss Dalton. She's going to stick around and answer any questions if anybody has any. I hope some people are out there and got logged on okay, but if not, you will be able to watch this via the YouTube channel. So if anybody is out there and you can get logged on, there is a question answer screen that each of the presenters will be telling you about, so you can ask questions. I will also be coming back at the end of the ACP 101 course to help you figure out how to meet your mentor. And then we will end this whole session with a nice video, kind of long, the seniors introducing themselves to you. So if you can stay and watch, otherwise, again, we will be posting it to the ACP website. But for right now, let's meet a few of the KCP leaders who are going to walk you through some hints for success in the virtual learning world. KCP leaders, introduce yourselves.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sanvi Agrawal, and I welcome to ACP. And I'll be giving a presentation about the distance learning schedule.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Myers. I'll be giving two presentations today. First one on the online learning mindsets and etiquette, and the second on Remind.
Hi, everybody. My name is Blake Sue. I'm going to be taking us through the ACP website, as well as password management tips and the district's Active Directory system.
Hi Knights, I'm Aaliyah, and today I'm going to be giving a presentation about how to use Flipgrid.
Hi everyone, this is Sunny, and I'll be sharing some credible sources for online learning.
Hey everyone, this is Aiden David here, and I'll be giving you a presentation on study hints and time management tips.
Hello, New Knights. I'm Anthony, and I'll be giving a presentation on how to help yourself if you're struggling in a class.
Hi, beautiful people. My name is Alex Lee, and today I'm going to be giving a presentation on some self-care tips and way to set up your at-home school environment. So I'm going to hand it back over to David to explain more about ACP 101.
Thank you, Alex. One last bit of housekeeping before we begin ACP 101. As the welcome slide directed, if you have any questions at all during the presentations, you will need to have another tab or window open and go to the URL provided, which will pull up the chat box for this session. You can find this URL pasted at the end of every slideshow. We will address as many of the questions at the end of the presentations as we can. Also, at the end of the presentations, after the Q&A, Ms. Lindstrom will return to let you know how you will learn who your mentor is. And you will see some short video introductions of some of the seniors. Finally, if you have to leave us early, a recording of this orientation will be posted on the ACP YouTube channel by this evening. So, let's get started with ACP 101. Sanvi.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sami once again, and I'll be giving a short presentation on how the school year is going to go. So we start off with the district calendar, and the major changes that have been made in here are that spring break and fall break are just 1 week now as opposed to 2 weeks. Everything else, all the other holidays are the same, including winter break. Next, we move on to the schedule specifically for ACP Erie. And right here, what we're going to be following is a block schedule. A block schedule is where you have your odd classes on one day and your even classes on another day. And you can see the schedule here. It's going to be around 45 minutes each, and this time is where students can log on, they can ask their teacher questions and do their work. This will be going on throughout the whole year, but on August 5th, we do have a traditional schedule, and each class will be around 30 minutes each, and this is when students can log on and they can meet their teacher and figure out any resources that they need and just set up their class environment and their mindset. For sports and clubs, sports trials will be starting on the week of August 17th, and the virtual club fair will happen the week of August 24th. These sports and clubs information, they will be given out as the year goes on, so there will be more information on that later on. Some other important dates that you should be aware of. The two most important, in my opinion, are the ACT testing dates for seniors and the October 28th, the PSAT testing date for grades 9 through 11. So if students want to prepare for that and do well on that, that would be a great idea. And that is all I have. So make sure if you have any questions, open a new tab or a window and type in that URL where you can ask any of your questions. Thank you.
All right. Once again, my name is Andrew Myers. Thank you very much, Sonny. I'm going to give my first presentation on online learning etiquettes and mindsets. So these are just, although some people are going to have less online school than others, they're very important things to go over. And so I'm going to just go over them now. So the first thing we're going to talk about are the mindsets that we want to embody while we're in this online portion of our learning environment. So the first mindset I'm going to go over is the growth mindset. So this can be very, very important in this new zone of learning, as it's very new to many of us, and we don't want to shut ourselves out just because we can't seem to figure out sort of technology. Because of this mindset, individuals need to be open to challenges and be able to overcome them despite failure. Just because there's a challenge doesn't mean you need to overcome it. In this mindset, you'll be able to get through this online portion just fine. The second portion of the mindsets that we're going to go over, the second mindset, will be that of a self-aware individual. A self-aware individual encompasses that the student is mindful of anything they post, because all these classes are on the internet. So everything and anything they post, including answers, will be there forever. Make sure that you're being mindful before you post something or before you submit an answer, because you never know if you're going to get an opportunity to resubmit or go back. So just know everything on the internet stays and has its own consequences. The last mindset that I'll be going over is that of a respectful mindset. This is also very important. It's important to understand that despite the amount of distance that might be between you, your fellow students, and those teaching you, the distance is irrelevant to how you should treat people. So make sure that you are encompassing respect and that you are giving everyone all the respect that they are due. This is just to avoid any problems that might come your way, including discipline. On that note, we're going to move on to tools that I'm going to leave you with that'll help you stay on task and in these mindsets. So the first is a very, very important tool. I know I use it a lot. That is the planner. So although the school may not originally be giving us a physical planner, there are numerous planners online and that you can get in most stores that will help you keep track of your day, keep track of your work, and help you avoid any last-minute work or late submissions that I've heard about. I know most phones will come with a planner, and it's just a great idea to use it so you can learn to prioritize work and not run out of time in your day. The second tool that I'll leave you with is to keep your workplace in a non-distracting manner. So that can be both audio and visual. So make sure when you're working, you're not working with a screen in your peripheral vision or a truck that's right outside your house that is distracting you or someone else that you may be in a meeting with. This can avoid a lot of problems, not just for you, but for others that you might be working with. The last tool I will leave with you is to always reach out to others. This is why the KCP is here. It's why we're all trying to reach out now. We want to make sure you're not isolating yourself and that you're keeping yourself in touch with other people. One of the worst things you can do is to keep yourself isolated when you really need to talk to someone. There's a lot of people you can talk to. If you need to, you can talk to a KCP leader. You can talk to the counselors. You can talk to friends, which I suggest. And from that, we're going to move on to the last part of this, online etiquette tips. So the first tip is to, when you're on a call, make sure if you're not the speaker, mute your mic. And this can also include turning off your camera. This tool and this tip is mostly to avoid distracting others, but it can also cut into presentations or whatever else you're trying to listen to. So try to make sure and to remember that you mute yourself and that you turn off your camera so that you don't distract others and slow down the presentation. The second tip, which may just be the hardest thing some of you face, is to avoid sarcasm when you're typing. This is an easily avoidable thing to do, but it's very important because it can also easily avoid accidental grade loss. So a teacher may not be able to quite understand that you don't actually mean what you're saying. Just make sure you avoid sarcasm when you can. It's going to save you a lot of pain and probably bump your grade up a little bit. The next thing I'll talk about, very, very, very important. Always ask for permission before you share something. So this can avoid a lot of accidental trouble that you might get into, not only because the school or these classes you'll be joining are going to be online, but a lot of the things online you can get in trouble for if you don't own it. So before you submit anything, before you share anything, make sure you ask whoever owns it or whoever's in charge that you can use that. You don't want to get in trouble, so just as a rule, just try to avoid that. Next, don't repeatedly send requests or chats. This may seem like a good idea in the moment, but just trust me, it's not, as it can not only annoy whoever you're trying to get requests, but it can easily be avoided just by being patient or reaching out to the right person. It can distract whoever's might be giving a presentation. Just trust me, be a little bit patient, and what you need will come eventually. Next tip, stay on task during meetings. This is sort of a tip to avoid problems with other people you might be in a meeting with, because not everyone has unlimited time. Some people have outside obligations. So make sure you're staying on task during meetings so that you don't accidentally drag them out and possibly ruin something or not allow someone to get the information they need. If you want to talk, there's always time at the end. So make sure you're doing that if you need to. The last tip I will leave you with, if you need anything repeated, just ask, because technology will ultimately fail at some point during this class or any of your classes. So make sure that you are asking for help if you need it and that you are reaching out. This can be right at the end of a presentation, or it can happen right after the error or whatever disconnect you might have happens. So make sure you are keeping on track and that if you need help, you ask for it, because there's plenty of people here that are willing to give you help. With that, I'm just going to remind you, if you have any questions or clarification that you need, you can, of course, use that last tip and then ask questions in the separate tab that you have here on the question portion. With that, I'm going to give it back to Blake, who is going to give a little presentation on the website.
Thank you, Andrew. Those are some very helpful tools and tips as we move into this online format. So I'm going to be walking all of you through the ACP website, through a little live demonstration, as well as a presentation that has some tips for you. So the ACP website is a resource that you're going to find yourself using, whether you're online or in person, very frequently. One of the best tools that you're going to find you use the most on the website is the tabs. The tabs will take you just about everywhere in the website. So the Our Staff tab can be used to access your teacher's web pages, as well as contact information for the administration and front office. Underneath the Academics tab, you can find the College and Career Center, counseling resources, and curriculum information. Underneath the Athletics tab, you can find the ACP Athletics website. And underneath the Parents and Students tab, you'll find things related to school facilities, activities, payments, policies, etc. And then underneath the Library tab, you can find stuff about the bookstore schedule when it's open, as well as information about payments. And then underneath the News tab, you can find the school newspaper, the Night Times, the YouTube page, and other announcements. So the About Us tab is home to a bunch of different information. You have things such as the school's location and contact information, but you also have things related to students' achievements underneath the Brag page and the school's background. Underneath the Our Staff tab is the Faculty Directory. The faculty section is probably the section you'll find yourself using the most. From this section, you can access any teacher's web page where they may post resources, homework, or any other updates they might have for students or parents, So you want to make sure you're checking here often to stay up to date with all your classes. You can also view your designated counselor and their webpage and find contact information for all your teachers as well as their backgrounds. The school calendar can be accessed from the main homepage by clicking on the calendar button. This will show you different important dates related to school intersessions, events, and sports. Underneath the grades portal tab, you can get to Infinite Campus, which is where you'll be checking your grades. This will redirect you to the district's webpage on online grades. And by clicking on the green button, log into Parent-Student Portal, you'll be sent directly to the district Infinite Campus. Some additional tips I have for you would be if you get lost at any time on the website or you just want to return to the home screen, you can simply click on the Knights logo at the top of the page. If you find there's a page you use very frequently, you can bookmark it to save you time later on. You want to visit frequently to stay updated. And if you ever need resources for volunteer opportunities, college or scholarship information, you want to be sure to explore the College and Career Center as well as counseling sections. So now I'm going to take you guys on a live website demonstration. So this is ACP's homepage. And let's say you are looking for more mentor information, and you know Ms. Lindstrom is one of the head people related to it. You'll go under Our Staff and click on Faculty, and then you'll have that faculty directory pulled up that I was talking about earlier. You'll click on Lindstrom Kathy, and then right here you'll see all the different tabs she has available for you to look at, as well as the teacher's contact information. And here you can view things related to the mentor program. That's one of her tabs. And then you can also go underneath academics to find the College and Career Center. Here, Ms. Dalton has put together various tools and tabs that different grade levels can use to keep them on track for college and to research different things related to their careers and passions, as well as college updates and information. And then that about wraps it up for my presentation. I'm now going to turn it back to Andrew, who will be talking to you more about Remind.
Thank you, Blake. All right, so as he said, I'm going to give a presentation now on Remind. It's a pretty simple program. So with this, I'm going to begin the presentation. All right, so Remind, it's a pretty, as I said, it's pretty simple. It's pretty user-friendly. This is just going to be a short presentation. Remind is a program that's used by educators and anyone in charge of a group to send out any announcements or events or any messages they might need sent out, just as a way to spread information. It's free and it's very user-friendly. It can be accessed via phone, app, or a website. So how to use it? So the basic principle of Remind is that you need a class code that will be provided to you by a leader or a teacher, whoever's in charge of the class. And then using that code, you can log in 3 ways. After you have a email password account set up, the first way that I'll let you know about is the text method. So Remind, if you don't want to download anything or go on the website every time, can be accessed by texting the number 81010, and then you text that number, whatever class code you got. From that number, you'll receive all the messages that Remind will be trying to send you. The next method I'll be going over, well, the next 2 methods really, because the app and the website are very similar, are of course the app and the website. So I know I personally use the app, and to join a class on the app, once you have it downloaded and set up and you're signed in, you click on the Join a Class button, which is pretty obvious. Using that button, you can put in the code that's, again, given to you by the instructor or the leader, and then that will automatically sign you up for the Remind. Once you're logged in, you can, of course, see all the messages. You can see people that are in the class, and you can also see what might be coming up or what they might want you to know. just a few helpful reminds. These can be found on the Career and College website. These are just the overall reminds that give student updates to all the different for all the different school events. So it's organized by the last name, and then you plug in these codes. For example, my last name starts with an M, so in this remind code here. So that about wraps it up for the remind presentation. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them on that separate question tab. I believe now I'm giving it back to David. So, David, if you'd like to take it away.
Thank you, Andrew. And I'd just like to note something. You may have noticed that the Q&A session has been closed. We will get that back up and running before the end of our session. So just write down or remember your questions somewhere until we're able to receive them again. We'll try and answer as many as we can. I'm going to be talking a little bit about some online learning tools that you'll most likely encounter as you enter the coming school year. It's important to learn how to navigate these tools because it will better help you navigate becoming an ACP student. And it all really starts here in the classroom. But this might not be the classroom you're used to. Some might argue this is better than the classroom you're used to, because unlike the real world, you're able to digitally categorize and organize all your classes into a nice little system. If you want to focus on a singular classroom, you just click on that classroom, and it shows you a culmination of all your assignments and content that you can easily view and do whatever work you need to with. This is also where you can post some public comments if you'd like. As you can see in this screenshot here, the add the class comment, which allows you to comment on teachers' posts or write your own post as well to be an active member in the classroom community. But if you want to focus more on assignments only, you would travel over to the classwork tab. Now you can view this in a calendar form up on the top right, or if you'd like, you can just view it in a categorized list. Clicking on these individual assignments will bring you to a portal in which you can upload your answers to the assignment. This is also where you can add private comments on your assignment, or teachers can add private comments on the assignment as well. So you can get helpful feedback and you can ask personal questions. And the third tab, it's a tab I wish we had in the real world because I'm always forgetting people's names. This tab allows you to see your teachers and classmates in which you'll be working with. This is a universal platform, so it is available on both the computer and the phone. Every single system is available on every platform. But this only offers a semi-live version of a classroom. What if you want to see your teacher face-to-face or communicate with them live like that? Well, that would be the best system for Google Meets here. And Google Meets is just another video editing software that, sorry, not video editing, video conferencing software, which allows you to connect through live video to your classmates and your teachers. Teacher will most likely provide you a code. You type in that code and you enter the call. Now, Google Meets is kind of special because it has some interesting features to it. You can click on this caption button and it automatically captions everything that you're saying live. Now, this is a really cool feature, especially for taking notes, because it recognizes the difference between voices and accounts and lets you know who's talking and what they're saying. In addition to that, a teacher will most likely have you with your camera and mic off while he or she lectures. And if that's the case, then you might be wondering, how do I submit answers or how do I submit questions? The best way to do that would be the chat function right here, where you can type in whatever questions or answers you might have or statements, and those go straight to the teacher. You can also click the People tab as well to see how many people are in your meeting, interact with them in that fashion as well. And you can change your layout into whatever system you'd like. Whatever works best for you, whatever layout you prefer, you can choose that. And those are the online learning tools that you'll be using as you begin the coming school year. Important to remember, of course, is that this is down a little bit, but we will get that up and running. And just keep your questions and we'll answer them. Thank you. And I'll pass this off to Aaliyah.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to be going over how to use Flipgrid. All right. So you're going to be using Flipgrid with your teachers. They're probably going to have you use it on the first day of school, so make sure you have that app downloaded and ready to go. So when you're first opening the app, you're going to sign in with your student Google account, and it's going to be S and your ID number at gse.csc80.com, and you're going to use your personal password. And once you have that, your teacher will have the assignment in Google Classroom, and they'll probably have a flip code for you. So you'll be able to enter it, and right here at the bottom, it will show your recent assignment, and it's probably going to be the one that the teacher assigned you. Your teacher's username will be up in the top, and they'll also provide an example of what they expect from you. And they'll also have the questions at the bottom. You can either memorize them or write them down, so when you're answering the questions in the video, you won't have to refer back to them so much. And once you're ready, you're going to click this little green plus sign at the bottom. When you're making a video, you're going to have how much time you have left to record in the top right corner, and overall you have 5 minutes to record. And if you want to have a little fun with it, you can add some filters or stickers or some fun pictures. They just have to be appropriate and not distracting. When you're finalizing the video, you're going to take a small selfie that's going to be the cover of your video. And again, you can add some text, some stickers. They just have to be appropriate. When you're getting ready to turn the assignment in, make sure you use your name. Don't use any nicknames or anything not related. The teacher needs to know that it's your assignment, because if they don't see that it's yours, they might count it off as missing. When you're adding a title, make sure that it's the assignment name and nothing else. And you won't really need a link for anything. And then when you're done, you can submit it. We're currently trying to figure out the questionnaire, so once we figure that out, we'll make sure to get back to you guys on that. I'm now going to be passing it on to Sunny.
Hi everyone, this is Sunny, and I'll be sharing some credible information, sources for online learning. Okay, so the first one I'll be sharing is Khan Academy. Khan Academy provides free lessons and practices from kindergarten to early college. It means that you can use it throughout your high school career. You can also follow missions to narrow your focus on a particular skill or subject you need more practices on. In order to complete a mission, you need to master all the skills in the mastery challenges. They really do a good job on making sure you understand the concept thoroughly. They provide lessons, in-depth articles, and practices on lots of topics such as biology, geometry, algebra 2, English, etc., some classes that you may take in your freshman year. Again, they provide lots of practice questions to help you understand the topic and concept thoroughly. The second one I'll be sharing is NOVA. NOVA provides science videos, articles, and interactives on topics such as ancient world, body and brain, evolution, nature, physics and math, planet Earth, and more. And the third one is Flip Math. Flip Math provides lots of math courses such as Algebra 1 and 2, Geometry, Pre-Calculus, and Calculus. All the lessons come with worksheets, and answers are provided to check your work. They also have student resources section on their website. They provide the tutorials on how to use a graphing calculator, some solving strategies, and quick reviews on general math rules. CK12 provides free online lessons, textbook, videos, exercise, and flashcards. And they also have a wide variety of subjects to choose. They also have student resources to help you understand the material thoroughly and enhance your online learning experience. They have resources such as webinars, simulation, and interactives. If you have any questions, please open a new tab and go to this URL. Now I'll pass it over to Blake.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sunny. We now have a new question link up, which is the one that Sunny just showed you, and I'll show you guys again at the end of my presentation. Now I'm going to be walking us all through how to reset passwords as well as manage them, as well as the Active Directory system that is being put in place by the district. So here we go. Oh dear. All right. So the Active Directory system is a program that is used to save student accounts to multiple platforms. It can be used to to access your school Microsoft account, school computer login, school city account, and Infinite Campus account. All students start with an Active Directory account that is in this format, with the username as S plus the student ID, and the password being S student ID and exclamation point. Now, this means that anyone, if they find out your student ID, could get into your account, and you don't want that. So here's how to reset your password. To do this, you'll access your Active Directory account here at this link below, and then it will prompt you to log in, and you'll first have to log in using this the school-assigned username and password. And once you do that, you'll be prompted to change your password under the Change Password tab. And to do this, you'll fill in the old password with the school-assigned one, which is that S student ID exclamation point. And then you'll put in your new password, and that'll set it for you. Another part that you need to look at for the Active Directory is the Enrollment tab. The Enrollment tab is where you can input security questions for your account. And if you ever forget the password, you need to have security questions in order to reset it, so you do want to add these. So in order to do that, you're going to go to the Enrollment tab, and there you'll say View My Security Questions. And once you click on that, you'll be able to input them. And a tip I would have for you is to choose questions that will have answers that are least likely to change over time. For example, a mother's maiden name is probably not going to change over time when compared to your dream vacation destination. That way you can ensure you can always answer them and log in. And there's a lot of websites that are going on here with these accounts, so I just wanted to review them really fast. Websites where you can check your grades are Infinite Campus and School City, and those will both use your Active Directory account to log in. Google Classroom, which is where you'll find teachers posting information for you to view, is going to use your Google account, your GSE email. Microsoft 365 will use the school's Microsoft email and Active Directory password to log in, and that will give you access to the different Office products that the school has for you. And you need to keep in mind when you're using the username for this one, it's going to be S plus the student ID at s.cusd80.com. And if you need greater detail on how to reset your passwords or what they're used for, you can visit this link or this one. And just some tips for saving passwords. Some good storage places that are free are LastPass, Google Keep, Windows Sticky Notes. I preferably just use the Notes app on my phone, which isn't very safe, but I like it anyways. You can store it on your web browser, although you might be at risk of forgetting it because it'll always have it and you won't. Or you can just write it down and keep it somewhere you'll remember. If you forget your password, here's how to reset it. Underneath Active Directory, when you first go to that sign-in page, it'll say Reset Password, and you'll click there and answer those security questions from that earlier Enrollment tab, and then you'll be able to change your password. For Google Classroom, you'll click on Forgot Password, and then Google will then prompt you with account recovery questions, and then you'll follow those until you can change your password. And then, if you have any questions or comments, please go to this new link that we have. It should be up and running now. I think we got past the tech issues. And now I'm going to turn it over to Aiden, who's going to talk to you about study tips and time management.
Alrighty, thank you, Blake, so much for that wonderful presentation. Again, my name is Aiden, and I'll be giving you a presentation on studying and time management. So again, just before I start, again, we're so sorry that the link for the questions failed, and so we have the new link up, and I'll get to that again at the end of my presentation, just in case anyone didn't catch it from Blake's. Now, I'm going to be giving you guys some advice on just some study hints and time management tips. So before we get into everything, I want to say that despite ACP's rigorous curriculum, if you have the right study habits and time management skills, anyone here can achieve success in their classes. So study habits and time management are extremely, extremely important. And also keep in mind that time management is an important part of effective studying. So just make sure that you have your time management down. Now, to get into some study tips for in the classroom, for every class, I definitely recommend paying attention during lectures and taking good detailed notes. Also, the textbook can be an extremely helpful resource, especially for AP classes, as I have found, because the textbook can give you another perspective on the subject. For example, if you're in a lecture and you didn't really understand what the teacher was talking about, you could go home and go to your textbook and maybe get a different angle on the subject to help you better understand it. Also, some classes rely heavily on the textbook, such as AP World History and AP Bio, while some classes not so much. So I would recommend within the first or second week of school, figure out which classes rely heavily on the textbook, because that'll help you know which ones you really need to use the textbook for. Next, we'll be talking about study tips for tests. So when you have a test, give yourself at least a week to start studying for tests so that you're able to adequately prepare. When reviewing, read over your notes that you took either in class or from the textbook, or both preferably. Then quiz yourself on terms and key concepts for the unit. Then after you've finished reviewing by yourself, find a friend to study with so that they can offer you their input and you can offer them your input. And lastly, use in-class review days to actually review and ask any last-minute questions. I know some people kind of like to blow off in-class review days, but it's really important that you use them to ask questions that you have from your teachers. And then lastly, just to talk a little bit about time management, just having good time management will keep you organized overall. So it's very important that you have good time management. Make sure to go to bed early enough so that you have no problems getting up for school on time. And on that note, try to get at least 8 hours a night so that you can stay focused during school. This is especially important the night before a test, because say you cram for a test and only get 3 hours of sleep, your body's just not going to be able to keep up with taking the test physically. So it's really important that you get at least 8 hours of sleep the night before a test. And then lastly, I just want to leave you with set a schedule for yourself to help keep up with assignments, because this will help you keep you on track so that you don't get behind with homework or tests and you don't get lost in all your classes. And then lastly, if you have any questions, we'll get to them at the end, but please, again, go to this new link. We're extremely sorry that we had to change the link midway through the presentation, but thank you. And now I'll be handing it over to Anthony, who will be giving you a presentation on what to do if you're struggling with a class. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden, for that presentation. Now, it is time to give you some hints and tips on what to do if you are struggling with a class. Now, keep in mind, these aren't going to be guaranteed for everyone. Some may work for you, some may not. If you already have a plan, stick with that. If not, hopefully this presentation can help you out. Now, there's a good chance that some of you are coming from ACP Oakland, so you already have an idea of what Erie is going to be like. For those who aren't coming from Oakland, here's a little quick rundown. Most of the classes are going to be either honors or AP. We have very few on-level courses. A shift may cause you to struggle quite a bit, even if you do come from Oakland. Trust me, I've been going to ACP for about 6 years, and last year calculus was not great at all. But there are ways to work around some of these struggles. So let's say you're struggling because you don't understand the subject at all. What to do? First, you can look through your textbook. More times than not, there's going to be a textbook involved with your class. So if you know the subject, if you know the chapter and unit, look through the textbook, see what you can find there, and see if it answers any of your questions. Another good tip is to look through videos and other web educational websites, such as YouTube or Khan Academy. Other sites that Sunny brought up in her presentation are good to look through as well, each one helping out with your understanding. Just don't get distracted on YouTube. And lastly, go to your teacher. The teacher teaches a subject. They should know the course, so you can ask them questions either in class or in this case on Google Classroom, and they can give you the answers to help you understand any assignment or questions you have. Now, there are two different ways to contact a teacher, either in person or online, but since for the most part we're learning virtually, ignore the in-person part, we'll go over the online. You can either send an email to your teacher, which you can find on their webpage, or you can go to the Google Classroom and type up either a private comment or a public comment. How do you do that? Well, here's sort of what an assignment will look like. Down here, you can type up a class comment, in which case the entire class, or at least everyone in that Google Classroom, can see the comment that you make, which means anybody has the same question as you, the teacher can answer that, and multiple people can have their questions answered. Let's say you have a specific question about the assignment itself. You can type your question here, and only you and your teacher will be able to see the responses here. There's also a way for the teacher to communicate with you and they need to talk to you about any assignment you turned in. You can also turn to some of the support staff here at ACP Erie. First, with our two counselors, Ms. Vinton, who deals with students whose last names start with A to L, and then Mr. Vizzosi, whose last names go from M to Z. Even though they do have this assigned role, you can talk to either of them. They're not going to turn you away because your last name doesn't fit underneath their criteria. If you have any questions, you need help concerning college or a future career, or just future in general, you can talk to Mrs. Dalton. She's always there in the same office as Ms. Vinton and Mr. Vizzosi. And let's say you need help more so mentally, or let's say you're going down a route of suicide. You can talk to our social worker, Ms. Swanson. You can find each of these under the Our Staff tab, Ms. Swanson is social worker, and these three under faculty. Now, some teachers, not all of them, may offer extra credit. Do take advantage of this. It can make the difference between a grade. But don't rely on extra credit entirely. You still need to do some of the assignments. But let's say you're struggling from a lack of planning. First off, agendas are your friends. Whether it's an agenda or even a calendar app on your phone or computer, try to use them. I recommend using a digital calendar app because it can at least send you notifications for when something is due. Set a time to start your homework, whether it's immediately when you get back from school, 3 to 4 hours after you get back from school, or 2 hours before starting, which I don't recommend. Set a time and plop down to do your homework there. If you have a large assignment, break it down to small pieces. If it's an essay, do an introduction one day, a body paragraph the next day. There's no reason to do all of it in one night, especially the day before it's all due. And if you're feeling stressed, make sure you plan out breaks. About 20 or 30 minutes should be good, and you do need these breaks to recharge your brain and so you don't stress yourself out too much. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you go here to slides.app.goo.gl/ZINQQ. The link is cap sensitive. This is probably going to be your second last chance to see this link and ask any questions you have so far about the presentations. Without further ado, I will now hand over the presentation towards Alex as she goes over how to take care of yourself mentally and how to set up a proper working environment.
Thanks, Queen. I already feel the stress just melting away. All right. Hi, guys. I am Alex Lee. And today I'm going to be showing you some ways to kind of spice up your environment a little bit and stay sane while learning at home. So, an important preface that I wanted to make before we begin is it's totally all right to take your time when setting up your environment. We're in a crazy and new situation, so perfection isn't really the goal. And remember, take it slow and know that your mental and physical health takes so much priority over any grades or missing assignments. Remember, you come first. And you are not alone. Remember to ask questions like you can here, and take this time to really tune into those strategies, because honestly, this will help you further in life, like with college and maybe even in your career. All right, jumping right in, step 1, choosing your classroom. So first off, you got to pick a room in your house where you feel comfortable and where there is little distractions as possible. Make sure you're at a table and desk, mostly because of posture, but also it'll just help you stay focused. Make sure you have a comfy chair, have some water, maybe your favorite snack. And as I said before, as little distractions as possible. Seriously, before this, I had my cat jump up and it was a whole thing. So no distractions, trust me, doesn't help you. All right, and also separate relaxation spots from your work spots. I cannot stress this enough. Don't work on your bed. Please, please, please do not work on your bed. Making these unconscious mental associations between resting places and studying places can hinder, 1, your sleep cycle, and 2, how you retain information. So if you're going to work, do it at a desk, do it in your kitchen, do it in an attic. Just not on your bed, please. Step 2, create an ideal environment. So after doing a little research, I figured that natural light is more effective than a lamp, as seen here, where it shows better rates of information retention and thus better test scores. So if you want to crack open that window and not feel like a hermit, go for it. It'll help your studying, I promise. All right, next up, a clean, peaceful setting is the most conducive to learning. So whether it's lighting your favorite candle or having some of your favorite music or a snack next to you, it'll just create those positive connections between the work you're doing and the environment you're in. Also, if you have a desk at your room, make sure the bed is made. I know I keep emphasizing the bed, but make sure it's made. Make sure your room is clean. It'll definitely help you clear some headspace. And also personalize the space. It's for you. And if you're doing COA for most of the year, you're definitely going to need a place where you can come, relax, study, learn, all that good stuff. Step 3, up that focus. So something I really like to do is taking a moment to concentrate and calm down. So this could be just setting some mental goals like, hey, what do I want to get done in this time frame? When am I going to take some breaks? What do I want like around me? Things like that. Maybe play some music, stay hydrated, all of that. And if you're a fan of coffee or caffeine, have some of that. It definitely helps, but just don't overdo it, please. And also, temperature surprisingly matters. According to Cornell, an environment that is somewhere between 68 and 77 degrees is best for learning. So if you're allowed to touch the thermostat, definitely do that. Step 4, take breaks and be patient. As someone who loves psychology, I had to incorporate a little bit of that. So take advantage of the 2 effects I've listed here, the Zeigarnik effect and the spacing effect. The former pretty much says the interruption of a task can improve one's ability to remember it. So taking breaks is vital to really retaining that information and having it in your mind, and it really just improves long-term memory as a whole. And the spacing effect pretty much entails long-term memory is enhanced when learning is spaced out. So as Aiden emphasized, it's probably better to study for a test for like the week before than just trying to cram it all in 6 hours. Trust me, been there, done that, not fun. Also, just roll with the punches. As I said before, it's going to be tough starting to integrate your typical learning practices into your room or home. So take this time to tune into your personal practices. Are you a visual learner, auditory, kinesthetic? Do you work better alone, maybe in a group setting, things like that? Step 5, never be afraid to reach out. Your teachers care about you. I know, it's shocking. Your teachers are still human beings, trust me. So never be afraid to ask them questions, ask for advice, help if you want to have a conversation, or even some leeway when things are getting a little tougher, because obviously we're all not in the best place right now. And also, talk to your friends. We are all in the same boat. So if you need some sympathy, someone to rant to, you want to take a quick break. I know I call my friends sometimes when I'm doing online assignments just to scream about something, but it's surprisingly therapeutic. And it also lights up those reward circuits of the brain as we interact with them. It can get that serotonin, that dopamine, it'll all be flowing. And if you are comfortable, please be open with your family about your thoughts and feelings during this time. And if you want to go about changing anything in your environment to make it more comfortable, speak to them, kind of work together on this. Step 6, the fun part, I promise. Take care of you. Self-care, physical and mental, is so important. First off, surround yourself with things you enjoy, maybe music, as I said, food, your favorite show, movie, activity. And speaking of activity, you should find a hobby. Hobbies are so fun. I know it's so stereotypical, but hobbies are amazing. It could be painting, writing, reading, sculpting, planting. I know I've been taking care of my succulents for these past 3 months because it just helps. It separates the academic me from the more relaxed me. And it'll definitely help you kind of ease your mind and take yourself out of that textbook. Also, get plenty of exercise and sleep. I know it's hard to get off the couch right now and stop watching Vampire Diaries or whatever, but it'll help. It increases those endorphins and serotonin, and it gives you an amazing feeling of accomplishment, which is also good for hydration because you're probably going to be sweating. And as Aiden also said, sleep, so important, because that's when pretty much your brain is able to re-intake all that information and kind of store it. So if you don't get enough sleep, your memory probably isn't going to be as sharp. And also, give yourself a safe haven to mentally recuperate, whether you're lighting a candle, taking a bath, listening to music, organizing. Give yourself time to do the things you truly enjoy outside of school. Also, give meditation and yoga a shot. Getting in tune with your body, mind, and spirit can help you so much. And I linked a little 5-minute yoga thing there that I really like. But also, Miss Lindstrom is so passionate about meditation and mindfulness. So if you're looking for something good, maybe a good like meditation on YouTube, things like that, definitely talk to her. I know she's shown us some good ones. And if you ever have her as a teacher, get ready for 60 seconds. And skincare never hurt anyone. Find a good routine. It'll up your confidence, make you happy. Maybe you can do a little dance in the bathroom mirror, whatever makes you happy. Finally, be aware of burnout. It happens to the best of us, and knowing how to take a step back is the first step. And once you're able to remove yourself from the situation and refresh yourself, you'll come back stronger than ever. All right, guys, I wanted to leave you with this final message because I feel like it really encapsulates the meaning of KCP. Because we are here for you through this entire thing. I know it can be so stressful with this new environment and the new regulations, but trust me, every member of KCP and even the seniors are here for you. We love you, and we'll make sure you strive for anything possible, be extraordinary, all that fun stuff. All right, if you have any questions for the last and final time, this is the link you can use. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and soon we're going to be getting on to the questions. Thanks for listening.
All right, thank you, Alex. And as she just said, that was the final push to get those questions out. Please submit them as I'm answering other ones that have come in, and we will try and answer as many as we can. Important to note, any COVID-related questions would most likely best be answered on the ACP or COA website because things change so quickly. It's important to stay updated at the source. In terms of administrative questions and school organization questions, we'll try and answer those right here. So we do have a question for, I think Dalton would be the best person to answer this. Can students signed up at COA take the PSAT?
Hi, Knights. I will verify with Mr. Bickus, but we're trying our best to see that we could get all students on campus if that's something that they want to do. However, it is a practice test when you're in 9th grade. It's something that you will use as a tool for the future. So we want you to participate in that if we can. We're just waiting for word back on the number of tests that we can order. There was a notification that went out, and it was in the Day of the Knights that asked that if you wanted to participate, that you went ahead and paid the fee. I do believe if that fee is paid, you'll be participating, but I will confirm that and make sure that we post something on my website underneath the college admissions test tab.
Great, thank you. And then just one more question here. Does ACP prep the kids for the PSAT, or should kids take classes on their own?
You should probably do that test prep on your own. Really, if you think about it, with the scores that most of our students end up having, we do prep you in every class. You don't realize it's happening, though. It's a little secret. But yes, you're going to want to do some of that test prep on your own. There are so many different websites out there that are free. Feel free to use anything that says SAT to prep for the PSAT. You can go to my website and list it under that college admissions tab. We'll have all of the resources that you need for test prep. And I'm sure if you Google something, there's something else out there. Hopefully that answers the question.
Wonderful, thank you. We have another question that came in. Can COA students still join ACP clubs? It's important to note that clubs will be also held online. So if you're taking a partial online course or something like that, you can still access the ACP clubs on their websites or on the school website as well. And that's how you join them, and that's how you interact with them throughout the year.
I'm going to check in real quick, David.
Okay, got it.
So students can join any of the clubs, even if they are COA. They can also participate in our sports. So feel free to reach out, keep in touch with the website. We're sending emails as quickly as we can, and hopefully you've subscribed to those reminds. I'm trying to make sure that we're all on board with getting all of our emails sent through Remind as well, so that if we don't have your email access right now, that we will have a way to get in touch with you.
Wonderful. We have a lot of questions that came in regarding connecting with people. And I do recognize that is a very important part of school, is the meeting new people or interacting with your peers. Somebody asked, how are you supposed to study with a friend while in quarantine? Should we just call or FaceTime? That would be great. Just call or FaceTime. There's lots of other options too. I know online classes. I took COA over the summer, and teachers offered a wide variety of partnered assignments where they'd partner you with a random student in that class, and you got to work with them online. They also, students also asked, will there be time outside of class meetings to interact with our peers? I know Google Classroom is a great place for that because they have that stream as well. I'm not sure if it's the best place for constant communication, but it's a good place to meet people during class discussions and stuff like that. Does anyone else have any more insight into that?
Yeah, I can add something to that. So along with all of those different mediums, you can also contact new people or meet new people through the KCP leaders, because we'll all be organizing and trying to make sure you're connected with other people that might have similar interests with you. Additionally, if you are in a club or a class on Remind, you will be able to communicate with the people on there. So that's another good way to meet new people that obviously have the same interests as you, as they're in the same Remind. So that's what I have to say on that.
And thank you for that answer. That's a great answer. Somebody else asked, are there programs in place that allow classmates to meet each other and stay connected? I think Andrew just answered that beautifully. Like I said before as well, taking classes, if you're taking classes online, they have those group projects as well. It's not completely isolated. So it's just, there are programs in place to address this concern. Somebody else asked, will there be a way to access these slideshows after the stream? Yes, there will. So we're posting this entire stream on YouTube, and that'll be found on the ACP Nights YouTube channel. I believe it's one of our members is compiling all the slideshows as well, so you can view the slideshows via link, which we'll put that in the description of the video, so you can access those slides individually and go back to whatever information you need to. Somebody else asked, what are the kids expected to do outside of live teaching? Will they still have access to teachers? So I touched a bit on Google Classroom, and I talked about how it's a nice way to organize your assignments, and it's a good way to connect with your teachers. I think if anyone else would like to add on to this on how easy it is to contact teachers, because I know that I've had great experiences with it.
Yeah, David, I will. Guys, hi. A lot of your questions about, what it's going to be like in your specific class, what your specific responsibilities are going to be. Your individual teachers, it all depends what class you're taking and what they have set up, how much responsibility you will have online and how much you won't. And I also want to address just a couple more questions that kind of go along that. we can't answer right now what the likelihood is that school is going to open up in 2 weeks on the 17th as the date is set. That is what we are all shooting for. But as we all have learned, things change rapidly in this new world. So we all just have to, be aware, stay connected, and watch all of the announcements that go out from Mr. Bickus, that come out from the CUSD, from Dr. Castile, and they will keep you up. Plus all of the COVID-related stuff, as David already said, all those kind of questions are answered through those means. Back to your responsibility for Google Classroom and some of the, you were talking about, do you have to show your faces? As Andrew covered in his, you don't. And as I don't know if you guys have been noticing on this, but everybody actually mutes both their microphone and their cameras. Only if the teacher asks you to. And I know for myself as a teacher, in some of my sessions, we ask for it, but it works better a lot of times if you're all muted. So the teacher will set the parameters for what the Google Meets will be like. And there will also be ways, each teacher will let you know how you can contact them through Google Meets, whether it's Google Live like this, because we're in a Google Live session where you're not directly communicating with us, whether they use a phone, just voice, or if it's all through a chat. There were other questions regarding the masks and social distancing and lunchtime and going outside. Those kind of questions, again, we can't really go into a whole lot of detail right now because everything is in flux. And the CDC and the state health department haven't yet given school guidelines to be really specific, but right now the rule is masks must be worn and social distancing must take place. Okay, David, I don't know if there's any other questions you can go to again right now.
There's just a couple here, and I'll just answer them pretty quickly. Are the online live teacher meetings through Google Meets or will it be through Flipgrid? Flipgrid is a platform in which you could submit video assignments. So, for example, my math teacher last year used Flipgrid a lot. He said, okay, record yourself drawing the unit circle. And so I just recorded myself drawing the unit circle, and I sent that in as an assignment. So it's not a live video chat. The live teacher meetings will be held through Google Meets. And then I believe that's it for the major questions.
Yeah, I have two more that I will address here before I tell you. Well, one of them is what I am here to do. Someone asked, will we get IDs this year? Absolutely. Again, I don't know though, but Miss will be handling all the picture stuff and all that kind of stuff once we all go back in person. But you will still be getting ideas this year. Now, the question specifically about ACP mentor program and this Knights Connection program. Oh, I just saw one more I want to answer. Are full-time COA students for the time being still associated with ACP? No, in one sense, because you are not technically on the ACP rosters if you are full-time COA students. If you have even one class at ACP, then you are still on ACPs. That doesn't mean you have to lose contact, and if you still want to get the announcements, you can still contact the school to get the announcements and still find out about it. But technically speaking, if you are full-time COA, you are on their rosters. Again, but you are assigned to ACP if ACP is your home school. So I hope that's clear, but again, you can clarify that more by contacting the main office. Okay, your mentors. How do you find out who they are? Which one of these awesome leaders is your mentors, or which one of the many other seniors we have who signed up for the program are? This is how. You go to the Knights Connection program mentor page on your parent teacher tab on the main ACP website, and you will see a link that says click here, so you can see who your mentor is, the name of your mentor. You do need to be logged into your GSE account, I believe, to access that link. Today, your mentors have already been given your names and some of your contact information. So they are going to be trying to reach you today. I would check your email tonight, to see if you receive anything from the person assigned to be your mentor. I would check for text. And at the end of this entire program, we have a special video that we're going to show. It's kind of long, people, because we have a lot of seniors who wanted to introduce themselves to you. So it does last a good long time. If you don't want to stay watching it, again, it's all going to be recorded and posted onto the ACP YouTube channel tonight. But the seniors will be introducing themselves and giving some of their contact information following our presentation. I just want to let you know, as far as the mentor matching, some of you completed the survey that I sent out at the end of last year. And so I did receive some really good information from some of you. So I was able to kind of match towards your interests, whether it was athletics or gaming or art or whatever. And I tried to match you up really well with a mentor who also had the same interests. But about half of you, I had absolutely no information for at all, other than your gender. So you were kind of matched randomly to start. This is not to say that that's your person forever. And someone asked the question, do we continue with the mentor program once we are in person? Absolutely. And it's going to just grow. And as I believe Andrew said in the welcome video, if you saw it, we're going to be doing activities together with the mentors and all the new students as we can, as we find out, as we grow. Plus, the mentors are all going to be working together. So the person you're assigned to right now is to make that initial contact. But once that initial contact is made and we find out more about you, the senior mentors are all working together to help you meet the people who have the best interests that you have and who can relate to you and you connect with. And at any time during the year, whether we're still virtually like this or whether we are in person, know that you can email me, you can email Miss Dalton, you can email Miss McClure, Mrs. McClure, you can email your counselors and Miss Swanson, any one of us, to let us know how things are going. And, you know, if things aren't going well with your mentor and you want something else, or even if it's just someone else on just how you're feeling, just let us know, okay? But do try to contact your mentors and watch for their contact from you. All right, I'm sorry we cannot answer. I might stay online while the video is doing and type answers to yours. But we do want to get to that video so that you all can see and meet your mentor. So for now, all of us here in the presentation would like to wish you a goodbye.